Hi, everybody. My name is Robin. I am your instructor for group communication. I hopefully met all of you on Tuesday. If not, that means you got an ad code and you added after Tuesday's class. I wanted to kind of walk you through what we discussed on Tuesday and kind of how the class is going to go. So that way we can all be on the same page starting next week. So this is kind of like a first week recap. Now, what I'm going to do is share my screen. I will take you to this screen and show you this. Let me see if I can get you to where our class is right here. We're in COM8 17346, and I'm going to view it as a student so I can see exactly what you see when you go to the page. What you will see in Canvas is that I've posted the syllabus, I've posted the class calendar, I posted the welcome message, as well as the week one update. So you got 5 messages this week, and you'll have one more by the end of today. This week one update and the welcome was kind of telling you which classroom to go to and all that other good stuff. The calendar message was going to give you some details about when the midterm is, when group projects are due, just kind of knowing what's happening in the class over the course of the semester. And then the syllabus, most important information, all the details of the assignments and kind of how the class is going to work. What I do want to make you aware of is that every Monday I will always have an at speech advice week, whatever week we're in, update. So tomorrow's will be week 2, and then it'll go all the way till the end of the semester, week 17 or 18, depending on what I have to send out around final exams. Now, what you should know is this is the first place you want to check every week. So, for example, on Friday, I sent out a message about dropping students who had not done their assignments that were posted. So, for example, you had 3 things that are due by Sunday night, but one of those assignments needed to be turned in, the first part of it, by Thursday night at midnight. For students who hadn't done anything, I started dropping those students on Saturday. And so if you're not staying up on announcements, you might miss things that are important and related to the class that are timely. So always make sure first thing you do when you go into Canvas is check announcements for the class that you're in. That's going to give you some details about things that you need to know. And then the next place I would look is this modules tab. If you look at this modules tab, you're going to see things that we talked about last week in class. A hybrid class meets once a week. An online class only meets online. And so in this particular situation, you want to make sure that you watch all of the materials and look at all the content on Monday and then show up for class on Tuesday. And then if you were in a fully online class, you just check everything on Monday and do everything before the due dates by the end of the week. Now, just because something has a due date of Sunday night doesn't mean that it doesn't have another component. So, for example, that assignment that's due tonight, that's the introduction assignment, you needed to introduce yourself by Thursday night at midnight. So, if you didn't do that, it's late. So, you really want to make sure that you're staying on top of those assignments and reading them at the very beginning of the week to know if there's something that you need to do. Looking at the tabs in the modules, really easy. You just click on it, go to the end, make sure you've read everything that it tells you, and then just hit next. And then that's going to take you to the next thing that you need to read about. And if you feel like you don't need more information about me as your instructor, which is totally fine, you just go to the end, hit next, and then you're going to get into the syllabus. Again, the most important document of the class for the entire class is the syllabus. It has all the information that you need to know, how to contact me when my office hours are, the book that we're using, assignments that are due, everything is in the syllabus. The other components of this week's module is at the very end, you have these 3 assignments. If you have not done those, you definitely want to get those done in by tonight at midnight, because on tomorrow there'll be a whole new list of things that will unlock. You'll see that you have an assignment that's due by Sunday night, your resume that's due by Sunday night, your blueprint, and your artifact speech that's due on September the 14th. I put it in this week's module just because I want to give you time to work on it and I want you to see what the assignment tab says. So just make sure that you're reading through all of these assignments and getting them in by their due date. The artifact speech, you won't submit it online. That's something that you'll do in class live. When we meet up in class, we'll sign up for your speech day and you'll know when that is happening. But most of these assignments, like the lessons and readings, you submit that online. Your resume, you do it, you submit it online, and then your speaker blueprint, submit it online. But we'll talk about that all this week in class. Um, Other than that, the biggest thing is just making sure that you're very comfortable with what's going on and you're up to date. This is a group class and you're going to meet your first group this week in class. So you don't want to miss Tuesday's class. And you want to make sure that you're there to share contact information, make sure that you can decide if you're going to do a vacation spot or a famous person, um, artist, band, or singer. And all of that is going to be decided with your group. You create all that assignment details with your group members. I hope that you're enjoying the class and learning everything about it. Please make sure that you're staying tuned. What you're going to start to see get posted are lessons. So the week 3 lesson, if you click on that, what you're going to see is that there will be a lecture in there, either a video lecture or a PowerPoint. And then when you look at the readings, it's going to tell you the chapters that you need to be reading. So all of that, you want to just make sure that you're staying on top of, aware of, and watching it as it gets posted. The other videos that you want to make sure that you look at are connected to this week 1 update. If you click on there, you will see at the very bottom, I go through what our syllabus is, and then I go through a little discussion about who I am as an instructor, how I kind of run the class. So if you haven't watched the syllabus in the introduction video, that's something that really could give you a lot more context for the class. And I highly recommend doing that before the end of this week. Hopefully, if you have any questions, you know that you can message me through this tab right here. That's the inbox. You just send me a message and I'll be happy to write you back. Or if you look at the syllabus, you'll see my phone number where you can either text me or call me. Don't send me an email because emails are things that I communicate with the college about. I communicate with you through this Canvas portal. So that's the way that you want to interact and connect with me online. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to message me. I hope we have a great semester together and let's go be Giants. Have a great day and happy Sunday.